Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're picking up right where we left off, continuing our look into the title of the Diamond Sutra using Master Jing Kong's commentary.
That's right. Last time we started unpacking the layers, and today we're going even deeper.
Yeah, for anyone listening who's curious about Buddhist thought, maybe new to it or maybe quite familiar, we're trying to make these, well, sometimes complex ideas clear and accessible.
Exactly. Efficiently exploring the wisdom here.
So today's plan, we're looking closer at some key ideas from Master Jing Kong on the title. Things like this illusion of dualistic thinking, why giving is so central to the whole practice, the link between wisdom and perfection.
Right. Prajna and Paramita.
Exactly. And, what the word sutra itself actually signifies.
Lots to cover. So shall we start with that idea of duality, the illusion of it?
Let's do it. Master Jing Vong brings in a quote, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. From the Mahaprajana Paramita Sastra, it goes, "The views of existence and non-existence both belong to this shore. Only when both attachments are emptied can one reach the other shore." Powerful stuff.
This shore, the other shore. Sounds metaphorical.
Yeah.
What's the Mahaprajana Paramita Sastra first? Why quote that?
Well, it's a huge, really important commentary on the perfection of wisdom sutras. Focuses heavily on emptiness, sunyata, which is, fundamental to getting past duality.
Okay.
Master Jing Kong mentions how massive it originally was. Even the Chinese translation we have is pretty substantial. It's sort of a go-to text for understanding these concepts.
Got it. So this shore, that's samsara, our everyday cycle of existence and suffering.
Exactly. And the commentary says it's characterized by this dualistic thinking.
What kind of dualistic thinking are we talking about?
Well, the obvious ones: existence, non-existence, self, other, true, false, good, devil, but also things like big, small, long, short. The point Master Jing Kong makes is that these aren't inherent truths about reality. They're products of our own discriminating minds. Our consciousness creates these oppositions.
So the way we naturally categorize the world, it actually limits us.
That's the idea. This constant framing in terms of opposites stops us from seeing reality as it truly is, which is described as non-dual, a state where a single thought does not arise, there is no opposition.
Wow.
So this shore, samsara, is essentially built on these illusions, these false perceptions from our own minds.
And liberation, reaching the other shore, means letting go of these pairs.
Precisely. Letting go of the attachments to these views. That's what emptying both attachments means. Getting free from clinging to existence or non-existence, self or other.
And when we do that,
the mind becomes pure, clear. You transcend that whole structure of samsara that's built on, faulty perception.
Okay, that makes sense. Then the commentary moves to the 6 perfections, right? And highlights giving, Dana. Why is giving singled out?
It's interesting. Master Jing Kong basically says that all 6 perfections, which are the core bodhisattva practices, are, in essence, contained within giving. Or maybe better put, letting go. The word used is shi, which really means relinquishing.
All 6. How does that work? I mean, discipline, wisdom, how are they giving?
He breaks it down. There's material giving, sure, but also giving of dharma, the teachings, insight, and giving of fearlessness.
Fearlessness.
Yeah. So things like discipline, sila, and patience, shanti, are seen as forms of giving fearlessness. By practicing them, we reduce our own anxieties and avoid causing fear in others, right?
Okay, I see that.
And then diligence, virya, meditation, dhyana, and wisdom, prajna, are forms of giving dharma. They help ourselves and others understand the path to liberation.
So it's way broader than just charity.
Much broader. The emphasis is really on letting go, relinquishing attachment, shi fangxia.
Yeah.
And he ties this directly back to duality.
Yes.
Letting go of attachment to existence and non-existence, those primary dualities, and also letting go of the 4 forms of attachment from the sutra itself. Attachment to a self, to others, to beings, to a lifespan.
The Atman, Pudgala, Sattva, Jiva concepts, those ideas of a fixed self and others.
Exactly. Letting go of those deeply ingrained perceptions is key to getting beyond the 6 realms of samsara.
And this letting go, it has to be total.
Pretty much. Master Jing Kong says you have to keep letting go until there's nothing left to let go of shi da wu kashi. You even have to let go of the idea of letting go, lenerin, shi ya fangxia.
Wow. Even letting go of letting go.
If you're still attached to the idea that you've let go of something, you're still caught, To really transcend the 3 realms, that final attachment has to dissolve too.
That's a very high bar. Why is it so hard for us? Why do we cling?
Well, the commentary puts it plainly. It's because we lack true insight. We lack wisdom. wu guanzao zhenji no true wisdom. Right. If we genuinely deeply understood the impermanent, illusory nature of everything, our bodies, our thoughts, the world letting go wouldn't be a struggle. It would just happen. Like waking up from a dream, you don't struggle to let go of the dream objects, do you?
No, you just realize they weren't real.
Exactly. So the difficulty comes from not seeing clearly.
Which means recognizing what is real.
Master Jing Kong brings up the constant true mind, Changzu Senshi, our fundamental nature. That's what we uncover when we let go of attachments to all the false stuff, body, mind, world.
This seems like a good bridge to the next point. Wisdom, prajna, and perfection, Paramita. There's a distinction made based on the stage of practice.
Yes, a subtle but important one. During the causal stage, Yinwei, that's the whole period of learning and practice before full Buddhahood, even for very advanced bodhisattvas.
Okay.
Prajna is talked about as perfected insight, Yuan Mamzi Guanhui. Think of the Heart Sutra. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. That's seeing the empty nature of phenomena, that's this perfected insight.
So it's the wisdom gained through practice and understanding emptiness. What happens at the result stage, Guowei Buddhahood itself?
At that point, prajna, wisdom, and paramita, perfection, are essentially the same thing. Baruji, Shibolomi.
Wisdom is perfection.
Exactly. When wisdom is fully perfected, ultimate, there's no separation. It's a non-dual reality, bubber or famen. They aren't two distinct things anymore.
Non-duality, again. The commentary uses that famous story about Huideng, the sixth patriarch, right? With the banner.
It does, yeah. Classic Zen story. Monks arguing, is the wind moving or is the banner moving?
And Huineng says,
it is not the wind that moves, nor the banner that moves. It is the mind of the benevolent one that moves.
Cuts right through the duality. It's about perception.
Precisely. It shows that the perceived duality arises from our own minds. Master Jing Kong uses this to illustrate the point. Huineng also taught, apparently, that dhyana meditation and nirvana are two dharmas. The Buddharma is the non-dual dharma. Again, pushing beyond these conceptual pairs.
And this relates back to the Diamond Sutra itself, which famously says even the dharma, the teachings, should eventually be let go of.
Exactly. Even dharma should be relinquished. How much more so non-dharma?
The raft analogy.
The raft analogy, yes. Use the teachings skillfully, but don't cling to them once you've reached the destination. Even the best map isn't the territory itself. Attachment, even to the path, becomes its own obstacle.
Okay. Let's talk about the last part of the title then. Sutra, or Jing. The commentary says it's a general term.
Right, a general term for teachings spoken by the Buddha. But Master Jing Kong unpacks 4 primary meanings packed into that single word.
4 meanings.
First is guan, meaning thread, like threading beads together. It signifies the coherence, the logical structure, the consistency running through the teachings.
So they're not just random sayings.
Not at all. He mentions the detailed outlines, the keipan that commentators create, showing the intricate organization, even in massive texts like the Avatamsaka Sutra. Everything connects.
Okay, thread. What's next?
Second is ho shi, meaning to gather, to embrace, or even to attract. It points to the power of the sutras to capture and hold the mind, to draw you in.
How so?
Unlike, say, fleeting news or entertainment, these teachings have a kind of gravitational pull. They resonate deeply, you keep coming back, finding new layers. They gather your attention and hold it in a profound way.
Right, I get that feeling of depth.
Third is ho, cheng, meaning constant, eternal, unchanging. This emphasizes that the core principles in the sutras are timeless.
Valid across time.
Exactly, past, present, future. Master Jing Kong notes, the Buddha lived maybe 3,000 years ago by traditional dating, but the fundamental truths about suffering, mind, liberation, they don't expire, unlike worldly knowledge that gets outdated.
Okay, thread, gather, constant. What's the fourth?
Fourth is hofa, meaning law, method, or standard. This points to the sutras containing the actual methods for practice.
The how-to.
The how-to, exactly. How to cultivate the mind, overcome delusion, attain enlightenment, realize the results. These are the principles or laws to be followed by beings in all 10 realms, from hell beings up to Buddhas. It's the universal guide for transformation.
So those are the 4 main ones, but there were a couple more mentioned.
Yes, 2 additional related meanings. First, Jingyi, the path meaning. Jing can also mean path or roadway dalu. So the sutra is the path to Buddhahood Sujing Ching Cheng for Dujing. It guides you from being an ordinary person towards sagehood.
The way forward.
Precisely. And the second extra meaning is Jingyi, the mirror meaning. Jing also sounds like the word for mirror, Jingzi.
A mirror. How?
The sutra acts as a mirror for self-reflection. Master Jing Kong says you should read the sutras and use their principles as a standard Yi Jingdian de Dao Li Wei Biao Zu, to examine your own mind, your thoughts, your actions. Yuziji de Tin No Nian Dui Zao.
Compare yourself to the teachings.
Yeah. Ask yourself, is my mind pure? Is it kind? Kingbu Kinjing Shamabu Shanyang. The sutras provide the standard of the sages, Jingjiao Shi Shengxian Biaoshen, against which we can see ourselves clearly.
So it's not just intellectual study. It's deeply practical and reflective.
Exactly. It's a guide, a source of constant truth, and a mirror.
So wrapping up this exploration of the title based on Master Jing Kong, what's the big picture meaning?
The big picture is that the Diamond Sutra embodies this ultimate, perfect wisdom that's indestructible, sharp, illuminating, just like a diamond.
And the hope is?
The hope, as Master Jing Kong expresses it, is that by engaging with this sutra, by understanding its title and its teachings, we can awaken our own inherent diamond wisdom, our Zixing wisdom.
Our true nature.
Yes. And that awakening leads to a happier, more fulfilled life now, helps us transcend the cycle of rebirth, and ultimately progresses us towards Buddhahood itself.
So quite a journey packed into just a few words of a title. We've looked at moving past duality, the centrality of letting go or giving, wisdom evolving into perfection, and sutra as this multi-layered guide and mirror.
These are really rich insights from the commentary, offering, I think, valuable perspectives for anyone grappling with these big questions about reality and how to live.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you listening. Which shore of dualistic thinking existence or non-existence, self or other, right or wrong, do you find yourself clinging to most often? And reflecting on this idea of she, of letting go, how might that principle, even in a small way, bring a bit more freedom or clarity into your own experience? Something to ponder.
Good question to leave with. There's always more to explore in these teachings.